Hello everyone, I'm Mike Feldberger, and it's time for the September 17th Wingless Wednesday race recap from Shellhammer Dirt Track, the little track by the river, located 1 mile north of Leesport, Pennsylvania, right off of State Route 61. 7 classes were on the high-banked 8th mile, and here's how things shook down. First up was the junior sprints, and bolting out to the early lead was Caleb Whitmer in the 7. Caleb looked like he was going to dominate the whole race, but point leader Enzo Udicello got by Caleb on lap number 12 and kept on going to get his 5th win of the season in the junior sprints. Top 3 were running pretty close together: Caleb Whitmer, Aiden Buckwalter, and Enzo Udicello, with Enzo getting the win. Aiden Buckwalter got by Whitmer with a couple laps to go to get second in the 52, with Caleb Whitmer third in the 7. Finishing fourth was Jackson Payero in the 36J, and Tyler Johnson was 5th in the 56. Next up, junior slingshots. Fantastic race for the junior slingshots. Haley Bernatowski bolted out front from her 3rd starting spot on lap number 1 and looked to be the dominant racer in this event, looking to get another feature win for the 86H team. But on lap 19, Haley pulls into the infield with mechanical issues as a DNF. Inheriting the top spot was Aubrey Romig, and there was no way of denying Aubrey the win with only 1 lap to go in the junior slingshots. So getting the win was Aubrey Romig, her 6th win of the season in the 35A. Second, Frank Fritzinger in the 51. Good showing for Frank. Strong runner this year in the junior slingshots. Third, going to Barry Seaman in the 55B. Barry actually had a rally. He was part of an early race accident, going to the rear and coming back through the field to get 3rd. Gavin Wolf, your early race leader, getting 4th in the 23G. And rounding out the top 5, Cheyenne Snotterly in the 5S. Good running for Cheyenne. Started 8th in the field and getting 5th when the checker was thrown 20 laps later. Third class on the Speedway was the 125 micros, and again the Seth Gregory show proceeded to take place on the 8th mile high banked oval in Leesport, as Seth vaulted to the lead from his last starting spot on lap number 2. So he went from last to first in 2 laps. Strong showing to get his 7th win in the 125s. Easton Miller was your first lap leader, getting passed by Seth. Finishing second was Easton Miller in the 17E. Steve Simmons bringing the 04 home in 3rd place, with Kipton Stratton and the X getting 4th, and rounding out your top 5 was Mitch Gibson in the 15. 4th class on the Speedway, All-Star Slingshots. 20 All-Star Slingshots signing in for a night on the high banks. 25 laps the distance, since it's 20 cars. 25 laps was the distance, and bolting out to an early race lead was Brett Bieber. Brett showing the way for, well, actually, Mason Pittenger was your leader. There was a couple 42s in the field. Mason the 42, Brett the 42H, and Tess Horvath the 42T. Mason Pittenger took the early race lead, was your leader until lap number 11, when Bieber got by, and Bieber set sail for the checker, but that was not going to happen. On lap 21, 4 of the top 6 cars tangled on a lap 21 restart, putting Brett Bieber, Dylan Hoke, Darian Daniluk, and Haley Ero to the rear of the field for the remaining 4 laps. And sitting in the catbird seat, inheriting that top spot, was Lindsay Garl in the 17L, and she got her 3rd win of the season. So congratulations to Lindsay for getting her 3rd win of the season. Finishing second was early race leader Mason Pittenger in the 42. Colton Williams getting the 911C under the Dave Cordier Jr. checker after 25 laps for 3rd. Finishing 4th was last week's winner, Tess Horvath in the 42T. And rounding out the top 5, Dan Lane Jr. in the Thunberg-owned 12 Senior. That's your top 5. 25 laps of distance. Again, getting her 3rd win of the season was Lindsay Garl in the 17L. 5th class on the Speedway was the 270 micros. Solid field of 14 270 micros. And going out in the early race lead was Dylan Caronia. And Dylan looked like he was going to set sail and take the win. But all of a sudden, Dylan, your leader, heading to the infield on lap 12. So Charging through the pack from his 9th starting spot was Adam Buechele in the 10. Adam getting past the second place runner at the time, Jared Imler, and there was no stopping Adam Buechele from getting his first 270 win of the season at Shellhammers. Second was Matt McAnally. Matt started dead last, 14th, and he was moving. He was up into the top 5 after just, I believe it was 12 laps, and moved into second on lap 15 and proceeded to stay there, put a strong challenge on Adam Buechele coming off of turn 4, but Adam had just enough to get the win, his first win of the season in the 270s, with Matt McAnally getting second in the 45. Jared Imler staying strong for all the race, getting third in the 04. With your 4th place finisher, feature winner this year, DJ Tanner in the 36W. And rounding out the top 5, sleeveless Mike Kalman, shaking off some bad luck this season, getting a nice 5th place finish in the 17K. Stage 1 modifieds. Front row of Dylan Hoke, AJ Gerhardt. This was going to go down to the start, heading into turn 1 and getting the start, and a good start. What it was with a good launch off of turn 4 was Dylan Hoke grabbing the early race lead, not to be denied the win in the 20-lap Stage 1 modified race. Finishing second was Brett Smith in the 25. Third was Tyler Hoke in the 50H, blowing an engine off of turn 4. He was actually running second and coming down for the checker in turn 4. Big puff of smoke from the 50H, allowing Brett Smith enough time to get past, almost nudging him by, I'd say, not even a foot. So Brett Smith getting second with a mechanical issue from Tyler Hoke coming down for the checker, relegating Hoke to the third in the 50H. Finishing 4th was Johnny Fugelo in the 5-teen, and rounding out your top 5 was one of the front row starters, AJ Gerhardt. So that was Dylan's 3rd win of the season in the Stage 1 modifieds. And our last class was the 600 micros. Nice field of cars for the 600 micros. And at the drop of the green, pole sitter Adam Buechele was showing how fast he was for the whole night. Actually, in his qualifying event, he won by almost 3/4 of a track, and he had the same speed in the 20-lap A main, putting the 10 out front, and not to be denied his 3rd win of the season. Dan Lane Jr. staying strong, staying with Adam for pretty much of the 600 micro main, getting second in the 25X. Third, Matt McAnally in the 37. Finishing 4th, coming from the 11th starting spot, was last week's winner, the G-Man, Geezer Finelli. Geezer on a mission there, looking pretty strong the last couple of weeks, getting the G under Dave Cordier Jr.'s checker for 4th in the 600 micro main. And finishing 5th, Trevor Kovalars. Trevor was involved in a mid-race accident going to their field, coming back through the pack to get 5th at the checker. Nasty accident on lap 14, a lap 14 red. Damian Bauer taking a multi-time tumble from the starter stand in the turn 1 in the 7.5 600 micro. He was all right. Car was slightly damaged, had to be taken off on a double hook, but hopefully they'll have the car ready to come back for the final race of the season next week. Checker was thrown at 9:36, and everybody was on their way home at 10:05. So that's how things shook down at Shellhammer Dirt Track for the night of September the 17th. We will be returning September the 24th for the final race of the 2025 season. So hope everybody has a safe and happy week, and see you at Shellhammers on September the 24th. I'm Mike Feldberger. Thank you for watching.